I'm Nolan Beilstein, and welcome to another episode of Gen Z in Manufacturing, a podcast where I interview young people about their journeys in manufacturing, how they intend to influence the industry, and what they are looking for from an employer. For this episode, I welcome Xavier Gonzalez and Jesse Tabando, two HVAC students at Texas State Technical College. We recorded the conversation live at Fluke's Thought Leadership Day during the company's Accelerate Conference in Austin, Texas. Before we hear from Gonzalez and Tabando, please make sure to like and share this episode of Gen Z in Manufacturing. To view previous episodes, visit manufacturing.net. If you are a member of Gen Z and would like to discuss your experience in the manufacturing industry, please get in touch with me, Nolan Beilstein, at nolan@in.com.
Let's bring in Nolan, Jesse, and Xavier. Give them a big hand.
I'm Nolan Beilstein, the Associate Editor at Industrial Media and also the host of Gen Z Manufacturing, which is basically a podcast that asks young people in the industry about their journeys, what they're looking for in an employer, and how they intend to influence it. It's about 3 years old, 33 episodes or so. This will be 34. Typically, I'm in a studio when they're on a small screen. This is the first time we'll be doing it live, so I'm excited about that. It was born out of a realization that finding talent and developing them is a top constraint for manufacturers. And then I also noticed that a lot of the strategies were built with input that did not come from the new workers that you guys are actively trying to recruit. You see the percentages that say 60% wants that, 37% hates this, and I think that just feels empty, and after you read 10 of those, you forget what they said, and it just doesn't come from the source, which is why we have these two gentlemen right here. We have Jesse Tabando and Xavier Gonzalez, who are students at Texas State Technical College. Just to introduce you guys, I would like to get your reasoning for entering the skilled trades industry. So, Jesse, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So I would say the majority of the reason of me entering the trades is the overall rapid growth that I see amongst various engineering, sectors, be it electrical, HVAC, plumbing, all that. Working together excites me, especially at our school where we have to encounter electrical and plumbing and learning HVAC and refrigeration. So I would say that is probably my biggest push into the industry, is just the overall growth and how that basically translates to job security.
Oh, me? Honestly, this wasn't my first choice. But after like first semester, I grown to love it. Getting to get my hands dirty, seeing how things work, and over time I just started realizing, oh yeah, I got a thing for this. So that and the pay, of course. I mean, HVAC, like you can go anywhere and they'll need a technician. Like it could be cold, it could be hot. Anything can happen. Your heater can go out, your cooler can go out, like AC can go out. So anywhere you go, you could travel anywhere and you'll have a job. So that, but overall, it's a lot easier than people like make it seem. Like people think it's hard, but once you actually put your mind to it, you actually do the work, then everything just clicks. So.
A lot of the people I've talked to on the series as I've been doing this, they talk about when they were young, growing up, they liked doing things, building things, working with their hands. And when did you guys realize that your interests could actually be something that you do for the rest of your life?
I'll start it off. I'll say just taking things apart at my house and being referred to as the technician at my house. I'm the TV guy, I'm your computer guy, anything electrical pretty much, I'm your guy. But it's a blessing, I would say the biggest factor in all of that is just being able to work in something that like gives me pride in my work. I can't, no offense to anybody that works in like say shoe shining or restaurants or something like that, but I just feel like me personally, I could take more pride in my work working in this industry. So I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it's perfect. Xavier, for you, since you are the resident youngling on this panel, What was your perception of the manufacturing industry as a child? When you're 10, 12 years old, what did you think it meant to have a job in manufacturing?
Um, Me, I didn't have no interest. Like growing up, it wasn't my interest to like. I thought it was too hard. You know, the whole complication of taking something apart, putting things together. My brother, growing up, my brother was the one that was interested in the tools. Growing up, my dad would, want us to follow in his footsteps. But, over time, the past year, I just grown to love HVAC. And, I started to catch on and realize, oh, you know, it's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy, building stuff, putting things together. Yeah, like in the past, I didn't have an eye for it, but now I do. Like I see why people do it now.
Jesse, back to you.
Yes, sir.
You said we were talking over there. You said you have some experience being on a floor, being in a professional setting.
Yes, sir.
Upon that first glimpse, what surprised you the most about this industry that you're pursuing?
I would say what caught me off guard was the standard practice of safety in the morning. First thing in the morning, everybody stretches and goes over any kind of, safety notes that gets brought in from your GC, your general contractor of that project. Aside from that, just the overall camaraderie that you can build within, your industry. A lot of times there's this misconception of gatekeeping amongst the, older generation ahead of us and sharing the knowledge. But really, it's just a matter of you showing up. I feel like that's something that gets overlooked, but you just showing up and showing that eagerness to learn, that's breaking the barrier right there.
This one's for both of you, but what are some examples of training or mentorship that has really impacted you as you guys study and go to school?
Treating us like an equal, getting taught like an equal, seeing us as, the next, people up for the job. So, when we do our labs, they don't talk to us like students, they talk to us like actual people. And, as students, we want that because at the end of the day, we're not just we're not kids anymore. We're coming out of high school, so we want to get treated as adults. And over at TSTC, they do that. They my instructor Abe, he treats me like I'm his son. Like every time I talk to him, it's like, oh, I feel like he's actually talking to me like, you could do this. It's not hard at all. Like, and every time he does that, oh, I instantly get it. Like I instantly lock in on what I'm doing and I figure it out. So that's one of the things that I, can say that, relates to your question.
Jess, what about you?
Overall, just I feel like when the person showing you something takes the time and actually, step by step kind of explains it to you and then has you run with it, I feel like that's something that isn't really introduced nowadays. I feel like it's just something that can easily be played off as like, hey, here's this book, read this book, and then I'll test you in about 6 months, So breaking outside of that norm and just being more face-to-face, I feel like is a very, very new detail that I've noticed.
Okay. This next part might ruffle feathers, might irk some, but, maybe that's necessary. I'm going to target this one towards Xavier. What are some generational gaps that you've noticed between your generation and some older workers or instructors, such as kind of how you like to work, your priorities of work, how you problem solve? What are the biggest differences you notice between generations of workers?
I love this question, but what is it? So one of the differences is well, the younger people, we go by the book, but we like shortcuts here and there. Like here and there, I have my peers, show me little shortcuts here and there, or like using calculators, not drawing up the math that we got to do. But really, it's just that's the difference. Some our instructors like tell us, oh, that's not always gonna work, but like like technology is evolving, you know, everything's like improving, so it's like they kind of still are stuck in the past, and you know, we kind of want to move on from that and make things a lot faster, and we get our, at the end of the day, we get, you know, our work done, and you know, that's one of the key differences.
One of the people I interviewed, I don't remember who, but they said something along the lines of telling someone you need to do it this way because this is the way we've always done it might be the most detrimental thing you can say to a young person. Yeah. Like if you say that, you've lost them. Jesse, do you have any recommendations on how you can bridge some generational gaps between older and younger and get them on the same page, accomplishing the same goal?
If it's older generation person teaching a younger generation person, I would say there would have to be a middle ground. Whereas, you know, say if you're out on the field and somebody's trying to show you something on a rooftop, you know, it may not click easier on a rooftop than it would be in a classroom setting. So I would say the main difference between the two would have to be bridged in the sense of just both familiarizing with the material. Because, like, say if a foreman's trying to teach you something that they're not even too familiar with, and it's something that got pushed on them, and they're trying to teach you it, then it kind of just warbles the whole, you know, message. But I feel like just overall patience between the two people would, you know, help smooth the process, and just having a variety in the setting, you know, from rooftop to classroom and everything in between.
What do you think is the biggest problem that is driving away young talent and making them not want to enter this as a job?
Just overall, people not being aware of the knowledge that's at our fingertips practically, you know. I wouldn't say that it's gatekept, but I just know that it's not as, you know, broadcasted as I'd like it to see it be.
What do you think are ways that employers in this industry can properly adjust their recruiting and retention tactics? What can they do that will get more young people in the door and, more importantly, keep them from walking out the door? I mean, you can say pay.
Yeah, pay, yeah. Like,
yeah. I would say to keep them engaged, just to kind of give a variety of styles of learning and not just, you know, one, be it in a classroom setting, but yeah, just being more, I guess, offering more as far as training and not just one-dimensional with training, you know, just throwing them on a computer and, you know, testing them after that, just giving more of a variety of styles of learning the material.
So you're talking about some growth at a company, and I think growth means something has evolved in how people perceive it. I think, you know, in the previous generations, you spent 40 some odd years working for the same company. You got senior or executive slapped onto your title, maybe got a little more money, and that's how they perceived growth. What do you think growth means to you guys at a company?
Growth, I would say just every day, you know, every opportunity that a problem may arise is an opportunity for growth. Not just for you, but whoever's working alongside with you, or, you know, whoever's mentoring you. I feel like you both learn together, you know, you and the company together, because every situation's unique. You know, you could skin a cat a million different ways, you know. But that's just my view on it.
yeah, like the relationship, you know, loyalty, just trust, all that, like growing in general, like
Just building a rapport with the person who's working for you.
yeah, like a relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's been talked in this room already, but a sense of purpose at work. I was interviewing an engineer of sorts from Lockheed Martin, and he said that he helps work on missile interceptors that save people's lives. That's how he sees his sense of purpose at work. How do you think employers can give young people a sense of purpose? What can they do that'll keep a person from just coming in, punching a card 5 days a week for 8 hours, sometimes more, and actually give them a career rather than just a job that they do every day?
I would say offering them training yearly or every other year or something, or, closer together, offering them training to help them grow as a technician or an engineer.
All right, well, that's about all the points we had to prepare. This is typical, I think, that the generation, the one that follows them, they always say that they're lazy and they don't want to work hard, blah, blah, blah. You might be guilty of saying it yourself, but I think that attitude is mistaken in Gen Z's case, as they just want to work differently, and I think we've heard them say that. Gen Z's not going to burn out and neglect personal lives in the name of working hard. I think they realize that a person's job is not their main purpose in life. It's just a small portion of your life, or at least it should be, and they're not going to sacrifice personal and mental health just to prove their worth to a company that would replace them in a minute if they moved on. They watched, parents, uncles, grandparents miss family time because something came up, and they don't want to do that anymore. So,
thank you for watching Gen Z in Manufacturing. Please make sure to like and share the episode. To view previous episodes, visit manufacturing.net. If you are a member of Gen Z and would like to discuss your experience in the manufacturing industry, please get in touch with me, Nolan Beilstein, at nolan@in.com.